What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Lou, and it's been about 73 days since I've given up these two items. What are those two items? The first item is energy drinks, and then the second item is hard liquor in any form. So no shots, no mixed drinks, nothing like that. I still do drink beer, and I also still do drink coffee and pre-workout. At the beginning of the year, or actually it was December 30th when I was in Japan, I was like, the coming year, I want to be a little bit healthier. I'm already generally pretty healthy, but I was like, you know, what's one thing that I can kind of toss out? So I was like, energy drinks and liquor. I think that would be a good start. So for me, I know myself pretty well, and I know that if I tried to give up all of caffeine or all of alcohol, it's gonna be a rough ride. Whereas I'm gonna slowly throw out these things, and then I'll come to a certain point where I can totally give up, maybe not caffeine, but alcohol in general. So as far as the result, I mean, it has been about 72 days with the energy drinks. At first I craved it, but now I can live without it. I probably won't go back to it. But before, I was drinking about 1 to 2 a week. And actually it was sometime last year when I was drinking probably, I went down to 1 to 2 a week, but before I was drinking like 3 or 4 a week. And it felt like someone was literally taking 2 fingers and pressing up against my chest or my heart. And I was like, that's not normal. So I went to go get it checked out, and the doctor said, it's heartburn. I've never had heartburn before, so I didn't know what it felt like. And then he was like, you know, what are you doing? I was like, I exercise every day, but I am drinking energy drinks. He was like, yeah, you should probably scale back. So I scaled back 1 to 2, but even then, sometimes I would have that pressing feeling. So I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's probably a good idea if I just toss that whole thing out. And I was like, is it the energy drinks or is it the caffeine? But when I do drink coffee and pre-workout, I don't really have that same feeling. So it's probably definitely from all the additives in the energy drink. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna toss that away. And yeah, it's been pretty good so far. With pre-workout, I only drink 1 or 2 a week. I think I'll probably even ditch that after. I have 1 tub left, and once I finish it, I probably will stick with coffee. But it's definitely not the same. Coffee will wake me up and my mind will be there, but it's not the same intense feeling as when you're on pre-workout to be zoned in. I don't get that same feeling, so I definitely will miss that once I toss the whole pre-workout out of my weekly routine. As far as the alcohol, or as far as the liquor, it's been pretty good. I don't really crave liquor or anything, but it's been kind of hard, when you go out and people are like, hey, do you want to get a shot, for camaraderie sake, or hey, take a shot with me, or when you're at a family party, it's just easier that way. And I'm like, no, it's, I actually gave up liquor at the beginning of the year. I only drink beer now. People are like, oh, okay, cool. And then other than that, it's been okay though. I'm more of a brew guy myself anyway, so that stuff doesn't really matter. And I only drink about 1 or 2 a week, even when I do drink beer, but it's definitely helped it's definitely helped my wallet. I don't go out nearly as much. Well, I didn't really go out a lot before, but since we moved up to the Bay Area, I only know a couple people here, I don't really go out as much, but at the same time, I save a lot of money because I'm not buying shots. Because before I'd just kind of be like, oh yeah, you buy a round and you buy another round, and then kind of adds up. So definitely saved money there. As far as productivity, I feel like I'm more productive just because I don't really drink that much anyways, right? But I'm not as hungover, because usually with shots, you can get drunk pretty fast, whereas a beer, you can gauge it pretty well too, and that was another reason why I wanted to give up the liquor, was because sometimes, you're just having one and then you're having another, and next thing you know, you're drunk, and then the next day you're like, oh man, I didn't gauge it well enough. Whereas a beer, you're gonna have 1, 2, and then you're like, okay, I feel it now. Okay, I can, scale back. So that was one of the reasons why too, was because to help my productivity, because with shots you're kind of just like, if you do a couple back to back or like, you know, so I just kind of wanted to get away from that. But yeah, overall it's been pretty good. I think even now I'm at that point to where I am like, hey, you know, I'm highly considering giving up even alcohol in general, not because of anything else, rather than I want to be productive and I want to see if I can do it, right? I mean, it's kind of I don't consider myself an alcoholic in any way, shape, or form, but I just want to live a healthier lifestyle. I just want to be more productive, because even sometimes now, this happened last week when a buddy of mine, he's leaving for a few months, so we just went out for a couple beers, but then even though it was just a couple beers, I had like 3 or 4, and then the next day, you know, because that night I would eat like crap. I'd grab a burrito or grab Jack in the Box. I eat like crap, wake up the next morning, not even necessarily like super hungover, but it was more like, oh, my body is not getting the correct nutrients that it usually gets when I normally eat my normal food. And then, you know, that next day, you know, I wake up, I'm like, my body is zapped, but also I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like eating super healthy, so I'll go out and get Chinese food, and then that messes me up for the following day, and then it usually takes me about 2 or even 3 days to get back on track. So for me, that's like a 2 or 3 days wasted, and then at this point, I'm like, yo, I don't want to waste 2 or 3 days. I'd rather just not drink, because I know myself super well, and I'm like, yo, if you just have to, it's better if you just don't have that at all, you know, so that it'll help your productivity. So, but yeah, so that's my experience. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You know, is there something that you want to give up? What do you think about, well, yeah, is there something that you want to give up or have thought about giving up? But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Other than that, see y'all soon.